So these are Mycena hematopus, and you can see that inside exudes this like blood-like latex. It's kind of cool, hey?
Yeah. So is that like got some viscosity to it? Like, is it heavy?
There's two different. They're called bleeder mycenas. So there's this one, Mycena hematopus that grows on the logs, and then there's one that looks very similar, but it grows in the moss. I can't remember the exact species name. It's Mycena sanguinenta, possibly. It starts with an S. I can't remember. And then here we have Hyphloma fasciculare, a sulfur tuft. Very common. Cool looking mushroom though. They usually grow in pretty big patches. What's that? Man, things grow together. I gotta say. Look at the slugs eating the shit out of that. Oh, dude. That's a nice bolete. I would eat that. Sweet. I don't know if you could consider that a king bolete. But the white bears like that. It's a really good sign it's edible.
Just life everywhere.
There's life everywhere. Yeah. Let's just maybe sneak in here a minute. Party was back there. What are you coming through here? Yeah. Let's go back to the road. Oh, should we turn around?
Yep.
Not bad, we found some stuff.
Hey, yeah, buddy.
Not bad. I'm trying to think of the name for false turkey tails. Turkey tails are Trinides versicolor, and false turkey tails, Sterium, Austrium. I'm gonna have to Google that. I can't remember. So many Latin names running through my head. It's just like, which one is which? Yeah, can't remember what I did last week, but for some reason I can remember Latin names. It's kind of funny.
It's a different part of your memory, right?
I guess
Yeah.
so. Like some years I'll like be like, okay, you know what? I don't know much. Like this is kind of how nerdy I get with it, like, and have gotten with it over the years. Like, feel like I'll have a focus, like a genus to focus on. Like I can't really, identify that many, lactarius mushrooms. Like they're milky mushrooms. They're not really that interesting to me. But like maybe I'm gonna focus this season on them, and then you'll try to like focus on them and. Try to learn at least a couple species that year, right?
Right. Morning.
I think I matched that lady on Tinder. So, so big. It grows gigantic clusters. That one I can't remember. Whoops. More of those Courtinaria. Whoops. I think of the name of that one. That one grows off poplars. I think the name has something to do with poplars. As you can see, we're on a little bit of a lower elevation here, so it's a good chance there's a cottonwood tree around. Well, I was looking at how cool this fucking stump was on the way down. This is the tinder polypore. Fulmus fulmitarius. I think. Fulmus, the tinder polypore. That's the mushroom that old corpse in the Alps. The Stone Age man that they found.
Yeah.
He had that in a little pouch.
Huh.
Whether or not for for carrying embers or for medicinal purposes, no one really knows, right? But what was his name? Otzi, I think is what the story is. Something like that. But that's pretty cool to think that man 10,000 years ago was already, interested with mushrooms.
Huh.
It makes sense. To me, it makes sense, especially if you believe in the stoned ape theory.
Yeah.
I think that, I used to think Ancient Aliens was cool until the show came out.
Yeah.
I used to read books about that kind of stuff, about the Nazca lines, and it did make sense that there was pre-contact with possibly extraterrestrials at one time. But then that show tries to take any accomplishment man ever did and be like, oh, it's because of aliens.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
The one
pretty hardcore? Man. Human beings.
Yeah.
They're pretty amazing. Little bugger. Russella, probably. Maybe not. Bacteria. Gross.
Something's been chewing on it.
Oh yeah. Oh, Russella. Yeah, no, man's pretty smart. Man is, a good chance man is as smart because of his contact with mushrooms early on. Homo sapiens were pretty fucking smart.
Yeah.
We weren't that smart.
We didn't start out this way.
We've only been really smart for a fairly short period of time. They say,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if I believe in the paradigm. I think man's been pretty smart maybe a few different times over and over.
Yeah.
And at the very same time, man's been, in the same age that it was 10,000 years ago, right? Just like now. There's still people out in the woods.
Morning.
Coffee,
Yeah.
Yeah, to base a whole era on one find from one time, that there's people that are doing different things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that are advanced and there's some people that aren't. It's just like if you look at the United States, just within that one country. There's places that it's fucking horrendous. Look at Detroit's falling apart and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, there's beautiful areas of the States. If you looked at that in 1,000 years, would you base that as two different time frames?
Right.
Right. But archaeology is kind of fucking bullshit. I don't know.
Well, there's so much we just don't know and
There's so
can't
much we
figure
don't
out,
know.
right?
Yeah, exactly. But where mushrooms fit in. Mushrooms are definitely, and there's, you know, it's recorded in history that, you know, we've been living together for a long time. Long time. And I would almost say we're almost symbiotic with magic mushrooms. Like, especially now in this era, how, like, when we grew up, we didn't know fucking about cyanescens and azurescens and stuntia. Well, we did find some stuntia, but like there was no wood lovers. We were out in the field picking Psilocybe semilaceata, and that's what we did. We picked liberty caps. But then over the years, like through like landscaping companies and municipalities, they started chipping the wood, right? Instead of it like just rotting away, they started to landscape their parks and shit with like with nice chipped up alder and stuff like that. And from there, the proliferation of wood lovers went crazy. And it didn't happen like we're talking about the car right here. Like the guerrilla gardener thing didn't happen that big here, like in Vancouver compared to like Seattle and Bellingham and down south. Like, man, there's a ton of magic mushrooms out there, and you can thank the frickin' shroomery members of old. Any of you young cats that go out and just find azurescens and find ovoids, like you thank the mushroom gods, and you thank the mushroom dudes of old, because you know that's why they're there. They weren't there for nothing. They weren't there before. Cyans were, they're common, but like not the ovoids and being able to run around a city and find azurescens. Like, how cool is that? How cool is that? Morning.
Morning.
What are we going to find next? Hey, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, like, pretty fortunate to live in this area.
Oh, dude.
Super thankful.
So fortunate to live in this area. Pretty amazing.
What's this? Sai. Yo, Sai.
What do you got there? Oh, wow. Look at that, just oozing. That's sweet. Look at that, eh? That is so cool. Throw a name. Toyota. Squirrel. I forget what. Not squirreloides. Squamosa. It's got the squaw in its name because of its hairiness. That is nice. Friggin' specimen with that drip. Hey?
Yeah, that's
Holy fuck.
it's pretty gorgeous. Yeah, it looks waxy almost, like fake. It looks like it's Somebody tried their best to make it look real.
Squara sweeties? I gotta Google that. Yeah, Foliota scorosa or scorosoides. Not bad. It's either that one, scorosa, or scorosoides. One of these. So, I was actually right. I thought I was talking out my ass for a sec there.
The internet never forgets.
No, exactly. Woo! Woo-hoo! Saved my ass there.
Yeah.
Had to fucking Google it. Well, yeah, like I said, it's hard to remember everything. And then those two are the same, Sclerosa, Sclerosoides, and they're two different species, but their name's almost identical, and they almost look identical.
Yeah.
So you could be happy with, calling it one or the other, I guess, right? Unless you looked at the spores.
But you could just mumble halfway through and
See, well, that's the thing. If people don't know, you could sound like a fucking
a professional.
a professional.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Huh.
I just Googled, I just fact checked myself there, so it's been pretty on point, I think, up until this point. If I don't know, I won't say it.
Yeah.
Because really, you don't need to know everything. When it comes down to it, if you're hunting for food and stuff like that, like, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know every stupid little mushroom on the ground. Not that any mushrooms are stupid, but like, you really don't.
Yeah.
You only need to know what you're after. And these are honey mushrooms. I believe. What kind of a fucking tree is that? So, honey mushrooms are parasitic. So these mushrooms are actually killing this tree. I guess, as they say. Yeah, that's crazy. Because this is a cedar, right? So that's pretty funny with that conversation we were having earlier about what breaks down a cedar. That's fucking scary that honey mushroom will literally fucking take the place of a roll of two mushrooms that have been doing it for, thousands of years. Because I don't think that these are from here. They're invasive, I'm pretty sure.
So how would they get introduced?
How does anything get introduced nowadays? Right? It's just everywhere. Everybody's everywhere doing everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when Paul Stamets talks about the biggest living thing, right? There's a place in Oregon that's like miles and miles long of this mycelial mass that's basically like killing the forest.
Oh, awesome.
If you really think about it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like that's what they're fucking doing. 'Cause, yeah, cedars. Okay, honey mushrooms on the list. That's so wicked to just learn something. Love it. That's why it's exciting stuff. That's cool. Walking back, you always see different stuff, eh?
Yeah, different angle, right?
Yeah. That little mycena. But, oh, that's a brown one. So the very coolest thing is when you find the blue mycena. That's like one of like the pinnacles of mushroom hunting. When you're really, really deep into it and finding like the minuscule stuff, but the little blue ones are so cool. Oh man, these hypsizygus. Fuck man, do you know anyone that can clone these right now?
Perhaps. Might know a guy.
Hammett Parks. That was in any other location. Those would be mine. All mine. They're cool. They're like, their texture is a little bit different than oysters. They're like crisper. It has like a crisper texture. It's really cool. Really cool. If you get a chance, like try them when you go to the grocery store. They come in these little packs. They're called shimmy-jees.
For sure.
See, like, and that's another thing. You try to spend a season learning polypores. I don't know the name of this one, but there's a few polypores out there that are different. Like, you'll walk around and you'll see a million red-belted polypores, a million fulness fulmitarius, and like Piptoporus pitulinus, the birch polypore. But then there's like weird ones like that. I don't know the damn name of it. I'm gonna have to look that up today. So you got like a solid book collection for this shit or what?
It's growing ever
Yeah?
so.
Yeah, cool,
I mean,
man.
it's yeah, it's one of those things you just accumulate as you go.
Yeah,
Right?
I still have a book collection. My mushroom book collection's like pretty big. But I mean, like, there's only a couple books you really need. Like the one for around here. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, it's called Mushrooms of the Pacific Northwest by Steve Trudell and Joe Amirati, I think his name is. And that's like best book, man. Best book. It's the literal checklist of the Pacific Northwest. It's got all the rare shit and all the more like up-to-date names, right? It's really the only one you need, right? But when you're addicted to the subject, you usually just buy whatever, right?
For sure.
And Mushrooms Demystified is one of those books that's like, you gotta have that one.
Yeah.
Just for details, right?
Yeah.
It's got lists of the tree species and all the mycorrhizal species that live with the different trees. And it's just like, it is so comprehensive, man. So comprehensive. Those puffballs.
Morning.
We're not in a hurry. Exactly. It's nice it's getting cooler though.
Yes. Especially since they're furry now.
Yeah, he started noticed
Hi.
this morning he
Hi,
was
how are
starting to get fuzzy.
Good.
Get fuzzy.
Hi.
Good morning.
We got about 3 minutes left.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
man, that was a lot of walk.
Yeah, it was
Super awesome.
educational, and like, yeah, it's nice to just be surprised by everything, right? Like,
Yeah, dude.
it's very.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really enjoyed this. Hopefully, we can do more of this, right?
Yeah, dude. I'm down. I'm down for sure. Fun.
Yeah.
I do a lot of my mushroom picking alone, actually, which is like, kind of sucks. And it's kind of dangerous, but like, I don't know. It's definitely nice to have someone to go out with.
Yeah.
I'm down. And if people kind of enjoy this kind of a format, like, maybe we could definitely do it more.
Yeah.
Super cool idea.
I mean, yeah, clock's ticking on first frost right now, right? So.
I know. Fuck, man, that's always the worst thing. Doesn't kill everything though, but like, definitely your field mushrooms it kills.
Yeah.
It's not as critical in the forest. Like, frost is really critical if you're picking like liberty caps and shit like that. Not as critical for azarescens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, they can really handle the cold, man. My homie used to grow them in Wisconsin, and like, fuck, man, they were in some cold ass weather. They grew great.
Huh.
They grew great. Yeah, my old homie Spore Rider, is that his name again? Holy, that goes way back. Goes way back.
All right. Well, thank you, Simon, for hosting this walk. I feel like I was the guest on your travel. Yeah, no, I super appreciate being out here and not being through the camera. It being, live, but not live.
Yeah, we could have done it live though, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you to everybody who's still with us and watched and perhaps learned something or was entertained. And yeah, again, you can find Simon at PSYLOSYMON on Instagram. All right, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.